Did you know that in some royal courts, love was more dangerous than war? Behind palace walls, every smile could be a weapon. Every dance could hide a betrayal. Every letter could destroy a kingdom. In public, queens were symbols of purity, power, and duty. They wore gold, silk, jewels, and crowns. But behind the red curtains, their lives were controlled by rules written by men. A queen could command armies, influence empires, and shape history. But she could not always choose who she loved. In many courts, marriage was not romance. It was politics. A treaty. A transaction. A way to unite families, lands, and power. A young princess could be sent to a foreign palace before she even understood the language. She would arrive surrounded by strangers. Servants watching. Nobles whispering. Priests judging. Diplomats reporting everything back to their rulers. Her beauty was praised. Her smile was studied. Her silence was interpreted. And her heart was expected to disappear. But the heart rarely obeys the crown. That is where the danger began. Because forbidden love inside a palace was not just a scandal. It was a threat. If a queen loved the wrong man, enemies could use it against her. If she trusted the wrong servant, secrets could escape. If one letter was found, it could become proof of treason. In candlelit rooms, messages were hidden inside books, flowers, jewelry boxes, and folded fabric. A single rose could mean desire. A glove could mean a meeting. A sealed letter could mean everything. Courtiers learned to read symbols. They watched who looked at whom during dinner. Who paused too long in a hallway. Who disappeared during a masquerade. In a world where everyone wore a mask, the smallest gesture could become evidence. The palace looked beautiful from the outside. Marble floors. Golden mirrors. Painted ceilings. Music echoing through halls. But beauty was part of the trap. The more elegant the court, the more dangerous the games. Nobles competed for attention. Families fought for influence. Lovers became spies. Friends became informants. Servants carried secrets from room to room. And rumors moved faster than horses. Sometimes, a queen did not even need to be guilty. Suspicion was enough. A jealous rival could invent a story. A rejected noble could spread a whisper. A political enemy could turn a private friendship into a public crime. Once the rumor began, it was almost impossible to stop. Forbidden love became powerful because it exposed the truth behind royalty. The crown looked divine. But the people wearing it were human. They wanted affection. They wanted freedom. They wanted to be seen as more than symbols. A queen could stand before thousands and still feel completely alone. She could sleep in a room covered in gold and still be watched like a prisoner. Her clothes were chosen. Her schedule was controlled. Her body belonged to the dynasty. Her children belonged to the throne. Even her grief had to be elegant. Even her joy had to be approved. So when someone offered real attention, real tenderness, or real understanding, it could feel like oxygen. That is why love letters became so dangerous. They were proof that the mask had slipped. Some letters were burned immediately after reading. Others were hidden inside walls, under floorboards, or between the pages of prayer books. Some were written in code. Some used false names. Some never mentioned love directly at all. Instead, they spoke of gardens, storms, music, or moonlight. To outsiders, they seemed harmless. To the lovers, every word carried fire. But secrecy always creates risk. The more secret the relationship, the more valuable it becomes to enemies. A stolen letter could ruin a reputation. A witness could demand money. A servant could sell the truth. A rival could take one sentence and turn it into a weapon. And the punishment was not always private. Palace scandals were theatre. They were designed to teach others a lesson. A queen accused of betrayal could be isolated. Her friends removed. Her rooms searched. Her jewels taken. Her name mocked in public songs, paintings, and pamphlets. Sometimes the punishment was exile. Sometimes imprisonment. Sometimes worse. The lover could disappear first. A guard at the door. A sudden arrest. A false confession. A body never returned. Power knew how to erase people quietly. And once the queen was alone, the court could rewrite the story. They could say she was reckless, dangerous, corrupt, too ambitious, too beautiful, too free. But here is the strange part. The more they tried to erase these women, the more unforgettable they became. History often remembers the scandal more than the laws, wars, and treaties around it. We remember the whispers, the portraits, the forbidden meetings, the red curtains, the sealed letters, the image of someone trapped between duty and desire. Because those stories reveal something timeless. Power can build palaces. It can command armies. It can control ceremonies. But it cannot fully control longing. It cannot stop people from wanting a life that belongs to them. In many cultures, female beauty was treated like political property. A queen's face could become propaganda. Her portrait was sent across borders before marriage. Her appearance was discussed like strategy. Was she graceful, fertile, obedient, impressive? A beautiful queen could strengthen a dynasty. But beauty also made her dangerous. If people admired her too much, she could become a symbol. If powerful men desired her, she could become a target. If common people loved her, rulers could fear her. Beauty inside a palace was never simple. It attracted attention. And attention attracted danger. Masquerade balls made this even more intense. For one night, identities blurred. Masks covered faces. Music grew louder. Candles burned low. Nobles pretended the rules had vanished. But the court was still watching. A masked conversation could become legend. A dance could start a rumor. A secret meeting behind a curtain could change a life. The mask gave freedom, but only for a moment. When morning came, rank returned. Duty returned. Fear returned. And sometimes, so did consequences. The real mystery is not whether these forbidden romances happened. The real mystery is how many were never discovered. How many letters were burned before sunrise? How many meetings happened in gardens, chapels, staircases, or hidden corridors? How many queens smiled calmly at dinner while hiding a storm inside? How many portraits show calm faces that were actually living through terror, desire, and impossible choices? We look at old paintings and see elegance. But behind those eyes, there may have been secrets powerful enough to shake an empire. That is what makes forbidden history so addictive. It reminds us that the official version is never the whole story. History records crowns, battles, dates, and treaties. But the hidden version lives in whispers. In perfume on paper. In footsteps after midnight. In a rose left on a table. In a name removed from a diary. In a portrait where the subject looks slightly away, as if remembering something no one else was allowed to know. The palace wants to show control. But the shadows tell another story. And maybe that is why these stories still pull us in. Not because they are vulgar. Not because they are simple scandals. But because they reveal the cost of power. To wear the crown, many women had to sacrifice privacy, freedom, and love. They were expected to become icons, not people. But sometimes, in secret, they chose to feel something real. Even if it was dangerous. Even if it could destroy them. Even if history would judge them harshly. So the next time you see a royal portrait, look closer. Look at the hands. The necklace. The curtain. The shadow behind the throne. The calm expression. The painted eyes. Maybe you are not looking at a symbol of power. Maybe you are looking at someone who lived inside a golden cage. Someone who knew that one letter, one glance, or one forbidden love could turn a queen into a legend.